This is Joe Galvin, and I'm Scott Fitterman. We're with New Jersey Search and Rescue, and we're going to be demonstrating the SARTech I Hazardous Crossing Station exercise. So what we have here is a hazardous crossing. There's a steep decline going down the hill here, and we're going to want to belay down. We've got a bomb-proof anchor point here, tree number 1, and in the center of the screen is the bomb-proof anchor point number 2, another tree. So Joe is humoring me and pretending he doesn't know how to do any of this stuff, so I will go through it with him and he'll demonstrate how to do it. So what you're going to want to do is to belay yourself down to the second anchor point, and at that point you will belay me down to the second anchor point so we can continue on with our task. So the first thing that you need to do is to put on a improvised harness. So Joe's using a 20-foot length of 1-inch tubular webbing. And the first thing he's going to do is he's going to find the midpoint. Now that he's found the midpoint, he's going to follow it back to the tail ends, keeping it flat the whole way. We're going to try to keep it flat during this whole process so that the harness ends up being comfortable when you're done. So he's now at the tail ends, and he's going to match them up and put them up to his side. And then he's going to offset one of the ends to his belly button. And that way, when he's done making the harness, he'll be able to tie off on one side instead of the front. So now that he's got the spot, he's going to hold it there, and then he's going to follow it all the way back to the midpoint, keeping it flat. Okay, so now he's going to tuck the end into his pants. And he's going to reach down behind his legs and grab one strand with each hand from underneath. And he's going to bring it around and underneath the strands that it came from. So they're going underneath those 2 strands. When he pulls this, that top part that was tucked in is going to come out. So he pulled them all through. And then the next step is to bring the 2 strands to your back twice. So once. And then twice. And now hopefully one of the sides is shorter than the other, and you're going to tie off on the side that was shorter. There we go, perfect. It's going to tie off there. He's going to do a square knot. This is one of the only times that you would do a square knot instead of a water knot with webbing, and that's so that you could cinch it down tight. And then he's going to do a safety overhand knot on each side so it doesn't slip through. Now that he's got that all set, we're going to get the rope ready. On the end of the rope, he's going to tie about a foot or two off the end. He's going to tie a figure 8 stopper so that it doesn't come shooting through the belay in the end. Okay. Now, with the end he's going to be working with, the other side, we're going to be creating a tensionless hitch anchor around this big bomb-proof tree. So he's going to do a figure 8 on a bite. With enough of a tag line so he can do a safety knot. Safety knot he's doing is a half of a double fisherman. And then he's going to make sure it's all dressed neatly. You can't see, but he's doing magic under those gloves. Very nice. So now to do the tensionless hitch, he's going to wrap that around the tree 3 times so that it comes out a little on the loose side. That's once. Twice. That's your 3rd time, right? Mm-hmm. That's the 3rd time, and you'll see there's not going to be much tension on the end when he's done. He's going to take his carabiner and he's going to clip the rope to the figure 8. And he's going to lock his carabiner. All right, so now we've got our anchor point. Before we move on, later in this exercise, the taskmate is going to need to dismantle that and attach the carabiner to his or her harness. So you're going to need to instruct them on how to do that. Could you demonstrate that?
Sure. So Scott, what you're going to do is I'm going to lower myself down to the next anchor. I'm going to build another anchor point and actually put you on belay. But before that happens, what I need you to do is you're going to have an improvised harness on yourself. I'm going to instruct you to unlock the carabiner, undo 2 wraps, leaving 1 wrap around the tree, and then to take this and clip it to your improvised harness. And at that point, I will be able to put you on belay and lower you down.
Okay, great. All right, the next step is to get out your prusik, which this one is a pre-tied one, and we're going to attach it to the rope. The prusik is the safety device that is going to keep him from falling further if and when he falls at all. So he's wrapping it around 3 times, and then he's going to dress it so that it ends up looking like a monkey with his or her tongue sticking out. Perfect. And you'll also notice that the knot is offset from the very end of it. He did that in the beginning so that you're not attaching to the knot. So now he's going to attach with his other carabiner the prusik to his improvised harness. All carabiners are locked, and when you're ready, you can mind the prusik and belay yourself down to the next point. As you're going, make sure to let go and simulate the prusik as a safety device.
Okay, so I'm going to take a look behind, try to be as careful as I can, and watch my footing. And the nice thing about the prusik is if I were to go hands-free, this will catch me. So important to set your prusik before you even start downhill, but always good to do another test. So I'm going to continue to go downhill.
So Joe has reached flat ground, and at this point he's going to detach from the system. He's going to take his prusik off. And the next thing he's going to do is use his improvised harness to create an anchor point on this tree. He's going to be using a wrap 3 pull 2. So right now he's finding the midpoint.
Give or take close to the midpoint. You can always do this a little bit later.
That's one. So you'll see there's now 1, 2 wrapped around, and now he's going to tie a water knot to create the third. Water knot is an overhand knot on one side, and then he's going to do a follow through with the other strand, starting from the tag end side. Following along a lot like a figure 8 follow through. Once he completes that, he's going to put an overhand safety knot on both sides of the knot. Nicely dressed. Great. So we got the wrap 3, and now we're going to do the pull 2. So he's grabbing the 2 that are still wrapped around the tree tightly. And you'll notice that he's going to place the water knot facing the direction from where he's belaying, so that there's the least amount of tension on it. And now he's going to clip his carabiner in, and we're going to use the carabiner as a belay device by doing a munter hitch with the working end of the rope. So he's clipping it through the gate underneath the top, and now he's going to do that one more time. He's going to turn the ignition like you do in your car, and then he's clipping that part through the gate. Very simple knot. And that's your munter, and he's going to belay me with it. So let's head back up here. At this point, he's going to instruct me to go ahead and attach to this end as we discussed before.
Okay, Scott, so right now I have an anchor built, I have my carabiner locked, my munter hitch set up, so now what I need you to do is to unclip the carabiner from the line going downhill, undo only 2 wraps around the tree, leaving 1, and I need you to take that carabiner with the figure 8 on the bite and clip it to your improvised harness.
Gotcha. All right, so here is the carabiner. Unlock it. Disconnect. I'm going to unwrap it twice. So you will now see it's just going around once. And I'm going to attach it. All right, Joe, I'm on.
Okay, Scott, now that you're locked on, I'm going to take up the slack. I'm going to make sure that I pull you nice and tight before I lower you.
All right, I've got tension.
So now that I have you, you are now on belay. So now what I need you to do is about face and face the uphill slope, lean back, and you're on belay, so I will be lowering you down to me.
Okay.
Lowering you slow.
So I'm just leaning back and he's just slowly lowering me.
Always making sure I have one hand on the brake strand. Keeping him rather tight in case he were to fall.
And I am on solid ground. So at this point, to finish up, we don't want to leave anything up there.
Yeah, so right now, Scott, now that you are on safe ground, you can now disconnect your carabiner from your harness.
Okay, I'm disconnected.
And we can now disconnect you from here. What I will do now is that I will pull the rope down to us. And we have safely mitigated this hazard, and we will be moving on with our task.
Nice job.